That name is escopeta, and it means shotgun in Spanish, and really, that's how this works. It's a smooth bore weapon. None of these were ever rifled with grooves in the barrel, and I can shoot anything you see on that little white board over there. A single lead round ball with maximum range and stopping power, loose shot of different sizes, or a bag full of small shot, just like a modern shotgun would fire. Now, these were made for military use, but here the natives were friendly with us. We didn't fight with them. And the settlers in the field, well, they got hungry from time to time. So in addition to military service, a lot of these were used for hunting. Now, it's called a matchlock because it uses a burning piece of cord or rope to set off the gunpowder. To make it burn this hot, it has to be specially soaked in a solution of water mixed with a chemical called potassium nitrate, also known as saltpeter. Saltpeter is the main ingredient in black gunpowder, and it burns very, very hot. The cord is soaked in that solution, allowed to completely dry, and then when it's lit, it's going to continue to burn somewhat slowly, about a foot an hour, but very, very hot, almost 1,000 degrees. Trust me, it's hot. I have the holes in my shirt to prove it. Now, the parts of a matchlock are really very simple. This is called the pan. The pan is made to hold a small amount of gunpowder for priming. Drilled into the side of the barrel next to the pan, there's a small hole called the vent. The vent is what lets the fire from the pan get into the barrel to set off the main charge inside. The part that holds the match is called the serpentine because it's shaped like the neck and head of a serpent or snake. Finally, when I squeeze this long Spanish trigger, just a second, put this in here, it lowers the head of the serpentine down to guide that burning match right into the pan full of powder, causing some predictably loud results. Now, in our day, it's going to take about 45 seconds to load one of these. That is slow, but it's the best the technology of our time will allow us to do. I begin with my priming flask, which is very fine gunpowder that burns hot and very fast to set off the charge here in the barrel. I pour some of this powder here into the pan, tap on the side of the weapon to seat the powder, and close the pan's lid to seal it all off. Now, every time I do that, it's going to leave a pretty good surplus of gunpowder sitting up on the pan lid. That could easily burn my face off, so I've got to get rid of it immediately by shaking, blowing, and wiping off the pan lid area to make sure there's no gunpowder left up there. Now, the weapon goes down and I pick up my charging flask. This is the powder that fires the bullet, and it's quite a bit coarser than the powder I just used to prime. The spout is a powder measure that holds just the right amount of gunpowder for one shot. With my finger over the spout, I open the flask upside down and allow the spout to fill. I have to give it a little bit of time. Close the flask with my thumb latch, and now pour the powder down the barrel like this. Now, if I had a bullet or a bag of shot, now is normally when they would go down the barrel. But in a park full of people, it is generally considered rather stupid to fire live ammunition, so we don't do that. But I am going to put wadding in the barrel to compress the powder. The Spanish found this stuff growing from the branches of trees all over the American South. They quickly discovered that you can use this as wadding on top of shot in a gun barrel. It's going to do two things. First, it'll hold the shot firmly in place, preventing it from rolling back out the end of the barrel at an inopportune moment, and it's abrasive. It'll actually clean the powder fouling from the bore of the barrel with every shot, making the maintenance of one of these weapons a great deal easier. Now, The English gave this stuff a name. Anybody know what that name is? Yes?
Spanish moss?
Exactly, yes. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think that the English liked the Spanish? No, the English couldn't stand the Spanish. So that was given and taken as a supreme insult, and the Spanish never called it that. However, the Spanish, they weren't innocent either. They weren't getting along well with their neighbors, the French. So the Spanish called this barba francesa, French beard, because it resembles the long, gray, straggly beard of a feeble old Frenchman who can't fight. The only people who were polite about it, really, were the Native Americans, who called it simply pretty much what it is, tree hair. So the tree hair goes down the barrel. This is called the rammer, the ramrod, or la baqueta in Spanish. I ram this down on top of the gunpowder, return the rammer. Now I have to deal with the match. I blow on it to make it burn hot, and I place it right here in the jaws of the serpentine. Now I have to be sure that the burning tip of this match is going to hit the powder in that pan dead center when I'm ready to fire. We have a command in Spanish, prueben la mecha, which means prove or try the match. I lower the match down to the pan lid to aim it to the right spot. Now, this is a red hot piece of match. What do you suppose might happen if I'm doing this and I had left any gunpowder up on the pan lid? Exactly. Poof! And probably bang, which means not only will my face be fried, the gentleman in front of me will be very upset when the gun goes off. My commands will be in Spanish. I've already given you the first one, but the next three I'm going to translate, or you can translate for me. What are the last three commands that you give to fire a gun? Ready, aim, fire. That's the commands, but they'll be in Spanish. Cover your ears. Prueben la mecha. Preparen. Apunten. Make sure you get that picture. Fuego! And another tourist bites the dust. Anyway, that wasn't a bad bang. I'm not ashamed of it. But I think you deserve another one. Right down there on the waterfront, you can see our flag fluttering in the wind. Right next to that flag is the only, and I underline this several times, the only breech-loading 16th century cannon being fired in the United States of America. You can see cannons anywhere, but none like this except here. It's a very early gun. And I promise, as much as it breaks my heart to admit it, you're going to make a bigger bang than I can. In any case, have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves. See the cannon, and I'll see you later.
Thank you.